In fall 2023, Qatar shocked the world with the launch of their brand new water park known as Merial. It instantly went viral online, being dubbed the craziest water park ever built due to its 279-foot-tall slide tower known as Rig 1938. This is the focal point of the 60-acre theme park. It's located all the way in the back on this man-made peninsula. 12 water slides are spread across 6 decks, creating the world's first vertical water park. The tower is designed to look like an oil rig because Qatar has a long history with oil. All of the attractions here have an industrial theme. They have names like Jet Fuel Falls, Oil Slip, Driller, Distillers, etc. Some of the queues even look like a manufacturing plant, so I'll give them props. They certainly committed to the theme, and it is on brand for the country. But it does make me wonder how many guests are going to be drawn to the water park because of that theme. Qatar is the leading exporter in natural gas and is backed by one of the largest oil reserves in the entire world. So if any place was going to pull off an industrial theme, it makes sense that it would be here. But you gotta admit, the park gives off a very different vibe than your typical water park, which uses a lot of natural greenery and is overall very tropical. They give off a sense of relaxation, and I would not say that is the case for Merial. I remember when I first heard about this park back at their initial announcement in 2017, I was thinking there's no way this will ever get built. And then as construction pictures came out, I was like, man, this is actually happening. What is it going to be like to visit this place? And in early 2024, I had that opportunity to check it out. And, well, I have a lot of thoughts. In this video, I'm going to discuss my experience at the Merial Water Park, tell you about some of the attractions, weigh the pros and cons, and that way you can decide for yourself whether this is a place you should check out. And I want to start off by first establishing that this park was designed to be a world-class destination. With such a complicated design and advanced technology poured into development, the creators clearly want people from all over to come visit. And this is just one of several huge projects in the country to promote tourism. And while this park was certainly impressive to see, no one was there. We were some of the only guests in the entire park, and it was bizarre. Perhaps it was because it was brand new, or perhaps we just went on a day that was not super desirable to go to a water park. It was February after all. Maybe the summer months are busier, but it created this kind of dystopian atmosphere with these empty pathways, but these very clean and modern industrial structures. It reminded me of like a movie set. This park was undoubtedly expensive to build, which does mean it's also expensive to go to. A Merial one-day ticket is $70 if you buy it online in advance. If you wait to buy in person, $85. So it is clearly designed to be a premium experience. In talking to some of the employees, we found out that most of the guests in the park were staying at the nearby hotel, which is very interesting, and frankly, I'm surprised that people are staying there at all because the Merial Water Park is quite removed from the city of Doha. The drive to the park is through the desert where every once in a while you might see a fully standing building, but most of the time it's just construction. Clearly there are big plans to beef up this area, but as of right now, when we arrived at the water park, it was a weird sense of, are we even supposed to be here? It was a total ghost town. And this was not the only park in the area that ended up being like that. Doha's Quest indoor theme park was also just empty. They've built all these impressive structures, but no one is there. So as the only ones at the front entrance with our tickets in hand, we scanned into the front gate. We were immediately handed a wristband. We would use that to get a towel and locker for the day. The main building you walk in at the entrance is where you have your changing rooms and you can store your stuff. There's also a gift shop. If for whatever reason you need a swimsuit, they have them there. And speaking of swimsuits, I know there's some questions or concerns from people who would be visiting the Middle East, like what can I wear to a water park? We saw guests in just about everything, including two-piece bikinis and very tight male briefs. But the bottom line is, wear whatever you're comfortable in. But do note that they don't allow glasses or jewelry on the water slides for safety reasons. The other thing I'll mention before we talk about the rest of the park, right by the front entrance, I gotta applaud the characters. When we were the only guests coming in for the day, we were outnumbered by those in costumes. And they were very on brand for an oil-themed park. We saw a very excited fire emoji, a droplet of oil, a tin can, a crab, and whatever this fish is. All of them were very excited to see us, and that energy that they gave was a great tone setting for the rest of our day because all the staff at this park really were fantastic. We were treated like honored guests. If only the ride availability was as good as the customer service. On paper, Merial has a lot to do. The quantity and variety of slides is wildly impressive, and they were all provided by Canadian manufacturer Whitewater West, who is known around the world for quality. They provided just about every slide type in the book, including multiple water coasters, 3 different funnels, a slide wheel, and more. In total, there are 69 attractions in the park, including 1 roller coaster, provided by Swiss manufacturer Intamin. Yes, this water park has a roller coaster, believe it or not. Little weird, right? It is called Alcazar and is a spinning coaster. It opened a few months after I visited, so unfortunately I did not get the chance to experience it. But at the time, track work was completed and it was in the testing phase. Also not open was this massive water coaster that looked really cool, the slide wheel that stands over the wave pool, this shoot the chutes ride that should be awesome. I imagine that the experience at the park is a lot better now than when we visited. Granted, there still was a lot that we could do. All of the slides on the big tower were open. We experienced several of them, including Abyss. This is the world's largest funnel slide. It was actually the first attraction we did of the day, and funny enough, we got stuck at the top. After we went around a curve, we valleyed out because they put, I think, too many people in one raft. Probably a sign that the employees weren't following the rules of the manufacturer or were confused about what was allowed, but we stayed put in the raft, they turned the water off, and then someone came and got us and we walked all the way back. We later came back and did it and were able to make it all the way through, so we did get to experience it and it was a lot of fun. All of the slides here were well made. Something that's really cool about it is that because it's spread across multiple levels, you'll start off on one slide and then partway through, you'll exit and then have a choice of which slide to then go down for the second half. So it adds a lot of repeatability. Most of the slides on this tower are tube slides, but the one at the very top is called Vertigo, and that is the world's tallest body slide. That is on deck 6, which, by the way, this thing is so tall that you don't even need to climb to the top of some stairs to reach these attractions. They have 3 different elevators. Only one was in operation when we went because it was so quiet, you really only needed one. But you walk in, tell them which level you want to go to, and then they'll drop you off and you can ride all the way down. I was very relieved to find out that we didn't need to lug a tube all the way up to the top. That was a nice perk. But I'll admit, it was a little bizarre standing in an elevator in your bathing suit with just a bunch of other guests as everyone's getting dropped off on different levels. The longest line you'll probably wait in at the water park is for the elevator. And when you're all done with the rig, you don't even need to walk back. They have transportation that'll take you to and from the tower from the rest of the park. You could walk it if you want, but why would you do that when you could hop in a buggy and get driven right up to the entrance? The entire